Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Asian Psycho. This video we're going to do the review on the Dragunov family of sniper rifles and combat arms, or the Dragunov SVD to be specific. And yeah, we'll be starting with the GP standard variant of the whole Dragunov family, which is the normal SVD rifle. So just to give you guys a little bit of in real life perspective on the SVD, the Dragunov sniper rifle was manufactured back in, or was created initially in 1963. And was basically used as the Soviet-Russian squad support weapon of choice. It's semi-automatic and fires the 7.62 by 54 MMR round. It's a slightly modified variant of the DMR round that NATO uses. The whole 7.62 by 51 millimeter, but they're more or less counterparts to each other. The whole Warsaw Pact and NATO. If you guys know your history from Cold War and whatnot, and then yeah, you might be able to see that. But anyways, the Dragunov is a Russian sniper rifle, and in-game, in combat arms, it reflects the same thing because it has the PSO-1 scope that we'll go into later that all Russian sniper rifles have, at least as far as combat arms context goes. In any case, let's move on back to the in-game statistics, or the in-game aspect of the Dragunov SVD. Just some stats about it real quick. The Dragunov SVD, now, just keep in mind all these stats are now listed after the reboot operation patch, which was about 2 months ago. So the Dragunov SVD now no longer has a rank requirement. Before the reboot operation, it used to have a rank requirement of Staff Sergeant 1. Now Nexon has decided that it doesn't need one, so now you can basically rent it as soon as you make a new account, which is no rank. So I guess that's a good thing, because Dragunov SVD it can be a good sniper rifle, but I'll go into depth about my opinions about it later. So the prices on the Dragunov SVD go as follows. For 1-day rentals, it costs 1100 GP for 1 day, and for purchasing, not rentals, but for purchasing, it costs 410 NX for 1 day and 9900 NX for permanent. And again, it has no rank requirement because obviously you're buying it with NX. It can also be customizable, just to get this out of the way in case I forget it later. It can also be customizable, and its trigger and barrel can be customized. So just keep that in mind. You cannot customize the piston, which increases its damage, but you can only customize the trigger and the barrel, in case you guys ever care about that. So, moving on to the actual statistics of the Dragunov SVD. The Dragunov SVD, again, going off the old stats here, not the new stats, because the new stats are shit. The damage on the Dragunov SVD is an 89, portability of 45, rate of fire of 20, accuracy of 93, and recoil of 70. So, just going off these stats right now, damage is relatively strong. I mean, it's a semi-automatic sniper rifle. You're not going to be expecting it to have, like, a whole lot of damage. So, I mean, for what it is, it does deal, quite the punch there. It is capable of one-shot kills to the back, but you can only reliably expect that out of shooting light vesters in the back. It's pretty hard to get, or it's pretty rare to get a one-shot kill to someone, shooting someone in the back of a medium vester. But for light vesters, it should be a reliable one-shot kill because they have a light vest. Portability is higher than normal. I mean, the average statistic for portability, as far as sniper rifles go in combat arms, is around like a 40. So the fact that the Dragunov does have a 45 portability is pretty good, because it's obviously higher than average. Rate of fire is at 20. This, I guess, seems accurate enough. Actually, this makes me feel like the MSG-90, the original MSG-90, only has like 10 rate of fire now after it was nerfed, but whatever. That's something else I'll need to think about. So yeah, rate of fire is 20 because this is a semi-automatic sniper rifle. Note that it is a semi-automatic, not a fully automatic, because a fallacy that a lot of combat arms players make when it comes down to like sniper rifles is, you guys know how the deal goes in sniper only rooms. It's like, oh, if you're using a semi-automatic, people just call you like, oh, semi-auto noob or faggot or whatever. It's not. People need to make the distinction between like what sniper rifles, which sniper rifles are truly semi-auto and which ones are just automatic. Like most semi-automatic sniper rifles are in fact automatic. You can just hold down left click and just keep firing, blasting away until the mag runs out. Those include like the SR25, MSG-90, all those other ones that you can tell, you can actually see what kind of fire mode they're set to by looking underneath your I think it's the bullet counter. I forget where it was exactly. I don't really pay attention to that, fortunately. But you know, the Dragunov is legitimately semi-auto, so try to refrain from calling the Dragunov, or any of the Dragunovs for that matter, a fully automatic, because they're actually not full auto. Like, they won't keep firing if you hold down the trigger. You know, you have to click every time you want to shoot. So I just want to be anal about that, because you know, I'm just that kind of guy. So yeah, it's semi-automatic, not fully automatic. Fully automatic. Please get it right. So, finally, the accuracy is at a 93, so, I mean, it is a little bit more accurate than the MSG-90 or the L96A1, but it's not something that the Dragunov is like, you know, it's not something that you should be proud about when you're using this Dragunov. It's like, oh man, my sniper rifle has a 93 accuracy. Oh, what you gonna do about it? Well, sir, I have a Tango 51 that has more accuracy than your sniper rifle does. So what are you gonna do about it, huh? So yeah, accuracy is 93, perfectly good for most engagements, though you shouldn't use it to reliably pick people off like head glitches and whatnot. That's not what it's meant to do. Recoil is at a very, very high 70, and personally, I think it should more like have like a 65, or maybe like, you know, somewhere in the high 60s or mid 60s recoil. I don't think it has like a 70 recoil, but it does have a lot of recoil. Just let's keep that in mind. The Dragunov is not easy to use because its recoil, not only is its view kick pretty high, it's not like M110 SASS status, like boom, it just kicks your scope right across the screen or right up the screen, but it does kick a little bit, and the main problem with the recoil on the Dragunov, or basically every single Dragunov except for the Hawks, which I'll get into later, but main problem with the Dragunov SVD's recoil is the fact that it jerks around a lot. It can go either like slightly diagonal to the left or diagonal to the right, and that tends to be annoying, especially when you're trying to, if you hit someone and you're trying to hit them with the follow-up shot to finish them off, because Dragunov kills in 2 shots. The recoil can kind of throw you off because it just jars like a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. Maybe it just goes completely diagonal, which rarely happens, but I have seen it happen occasionally. But yeah, the recoil is just tricky to manage. That's the biggest problem with the Dragunov SVD. I think that's the one thing that limits its full potential as like a great semi-automatic sniper rifle. But yeah, the recoil is, I wouldn't say it's like terrible. It is definitely manageable, but it's kind of tricky to get used to. Other than that, though, modifications, you cannot attach a silencer on a Dragunov SVD. It does not come with an integrated silencer, and for some reason, the Dragunov is just not allowed to have a silencer at all. I mean, I guess it sucks, especially for those of you who like putting silencer on sniper rifles. And for a Dragunov with the power, you know, for like a sniper rifle with like a Dragunov that has a strong damage rating of 89, putting a silencer on it wouldn't really matter at all, because you're still going to be killing people reliably in 2 shots anyway. So, I mean, there would be no, you know, I wouldn't bash on you for putting a silencer on Dragunov SVD because it really doesn't matter. But you can't really put a silencer on it anyway, so what the fuck, who cares? The only thing you can modify on the Dragunov SVD is the magazine, unfortunately, and it already has 10 rounds in the magazine anyway, so why bother, you know, changing that? Customization, as I already mentioned it, you can customize the barrel and the trigger only, not the piston, unfortunately, and yeah, that's basically it about the Dragunov SVD. One thing I would want to mention about the Dragunov SVD, or the last thing I want to mention about it, is the fact that the SVD in-game in Combat Arms, it has the PSO1 scope. Now, for those guys who don't know what a PSO1 scope is, it's like a, I mean, I would go into real life, you know, in IRL depth details about it, but I don't have the time for it because it's just a video review about a gun inside of a video game. But the PSO1 scope is, I want to say it's traditionally a Russian site. I could be very wrong about this, but stereotypically in video games or in first-person shooters or shooters, whatever, usually you see the PSO1 scope among, like, you know, Russian weapons. Like, you know, in DayZ or Arma 2, you have the AK-107 PSO, or the AK-10, what was it again? I'm forgetting, but anyways, you have the AK-107 PSO, you know, those AK variants in DayZ or whatever that have the PSO1 designations on them. That's the exact same scope as you see on the Dragunov SVD in Combat Arms. So, yeah, interestingly enough, I think before 3-4 years ago, the Dragunov SVD originally did not have the red dot sight in the middle of the scope. Like, the Dragunov the PSO1 scope on the SVD was literally just the chevrons, the crosshairs, the 3 crosshairs that were in the middle of your scope. I don't remember when exactly they put in the red dot but it came around like 2-3 years ago maybe, and I think that's a great change because a lot of people didn't like using SVD because sometimes it wasn't really clear where you need to shoot people with the SVD. So the fact that Nexon did put in a red dot to help people aim better with the Dragunov, I think it's a good idea because, or I think it was a good idea because I mean, it helped me aim a lot better. I mean, regardless, I could still use SVD just fine. I knew where to shoot, where in the center of the scope, because obviously it's the center. Where else are you going to shoot, right? But the red dot did help significantly, and I think it was a great change. And not only did they add it to the original SVD, but also they added it to every other weapon that did have the PSO1 scope, like all the Dragunov variants and the VSS that got released later. So, thankfully, they didn't forget about their the patch that they made to put in the red dot, and they didn't neglect every other weapon that did have the same style of scope. So, that's great. Anyways, as for my personal opinions on the Dragunov SVD, it's a good sniper rifle. It's not like revolutionary. It does what you want it to do, or it does what it's meant to do. Like I said though, the biggest problem with it is the fact that it has tricky recoil to manage. It kind of bounces around. Like as soon as you shoot it, it doesn't go like straight up. Like it never goes straight up. It's like, you know, goes a little to the left, a little bit to the right, and it gets really annoying, especially when when you're trying to land a follow-up shot after you shoot someone with the first time. Because, like I said, 2 shots to kill someone, and yeah, if it had somehow less recoil, it would be a better weapon. But I don't know. The recoil is the biggest thing for me that kind of takes me off about it and makes me not want to use it. Other than that, though, if you're not interested in if you're not interested in 2-shot sniper rifles, then don't even bother the Dragunov SVD because obviously it's not a 1-shot sniper rifle unless you shoot like a light vested at the back. But yeah, that's about it for this review. Thank you guys very much for watching. Next one will be on the Dragunov Black, and now that after the whole reboot operation patch thing, there is a little bit more that I can say about the Dragunov Black, other than oh, it's the same thing as Dragunov SVD. Goodbye. So yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.